Welcome to part 5, where we're discussing the current landscape of the men's 100-meter dash as we lead into the 2024 Olympic Games going down in Paris, France later on this summer. Now, in the previous parts, we've already discussed guys like Noah Lyles, Christian Coleman, Fred Kerley, Marcell-Jacobs. We've talked about the top Jamaicans. We've talked about, some of the top African athletes. But today, we're going to be diving in and talking about some of the other athletes from around the world who are, again, all vying for spots on the podium at the Olympics later on this summer. Now, some of them have a ton of experience, whether it's winning medals at Olympics or World Championships. Some of them have made World Championship or Olympic finals, or some of them are rising talent and new to the scene looking to maybe make their first team or make their first final. But all of them are, again, vying for some spots and fighting to get on that podium. But let's dive in and start off with one of the more experienced athletes from that group, Andre de Grasse from Canada. So let's dive in and talk about Andre de Grasse, who is arguably one of the most consistent and experienced guys that I've spoken about, throughout this entire thing. He is a double Olympic medalist, winning bronze in 2016 in Rio and 2021 in Tokyo. He also is a double bronze medalist at the World Championships, winning bronze in 2015 in Beijing and 2019 in Doha. So the experience is off the charts. His personal best is 9.89 seconds, which he set just a couple years ago. And that kind of downplays a lot of the notes I've been saying previously where, somebody has a slow personal best. Andre de Grasse with his 9.89, that's not 9.8 low, that's not 9.7, but clearly he's been able to make it onto the podium. So really, really strong, kind of career, that he's been building up over the past couple years. On top of that, he said that his goal is to get that Canadian record. That Canadian record dates all the way back to 1996 at the Olympic Games by Donovan Bailey. And that was a world record back then.
I want to work more towards the 100 meters this year, get back in the mix. People forget, I think I got some bronze medals from Worlds and Olympics. If people don't remember that, they always see me in the 200. But yeah, I think my goal, I want to break the Canadian record of 984. And in order to do that, I got to have a good start. I got to have a good acceleration. And the 60 is going to be a part of it.
It's kind of crazy to think that that is still the Canadian record. So I think Andre de Grasse is very much going for it. Now, there are some kind of, ups and downs, negatives that you could point out where I think on top, the number one thing is that his start is very, very slow. Similar to someone like a Noah Lyles, but Andre de Grasse, he gets out very slow from the blocks. But once he gets to, 50 meters, which is kind of crazy, second half of the race, he is on fire. And that's why he's been able to have so much success in the 100-meter dash. On top of that, he dealt with injuries, not only last year, but then also in previous years as well. I think he missed the 2017 World Championships, but injuries last year, he did come back on and was able to win the Diamond League final in Prefontaine in Eugene. So he's gotten over that. He won the Diamond League final in the 200. Of course, he is one of the best 200-meter runners. He's looking to defend his title at the Olympic Games this year in that, but is that going to translate into the 100? Are we going to see a lot of guys dipping into those 9.7s that Andre might have to be able to push towards? Who knows? But Andre de Grasse, he is very much in the conversation for a medal, just like he's always been for so many years, since 2015. So looking forward to seeing what he's going to be able to do. Next up, I want to talk about Zharnel Hughes. Zharnel Hughes, he's been a mainstay in the sprints for almost a decade at this point. 2015 was his first major championships in Beijing, but last year he really turned things up. Of course, he improved in the 200 specifically as well, but the 100 is where he really shined, where he managed to get the bronze medal at the World Championships last year. Forgot to note that he represents Great Britain, and bronze medal last year, he really stepped things up. He got the British national record running 9.83 seconds last year as well, ran that at the New York City Grand Prix. So that puts him in the mix in terms of personal best with some of the other guys who, like a Noah Lyles, has 9.83. Of course, Christian Coleman, Trayvon Bromell, Fred Kerley, they've run, 9.7s, but you're looking at, Oblique Seville, he's run, 9.86. So Zharnel Hughes is right in that fold. And again, he proved himself when he got on the podium at Budapest last year in the 100-meter dash.
I prayed for a smile. I didn't know it was going to be a big PB, but grateful is the word I want to use, and I'm very happy to come up with a new PB today. National record as well. I'm pretty sure not much people expected it, but patience is the game, man.
Now, he has a ton of experience. Like I noted, 2015 in Beijing, that was his first global championships, and he made the final in the 200. He kind of carried that through where he made, various different championships, whether it's Worlds or Olympics, but making finals. 2019, he made the 100-meter final in Doha. 2021, he made the 100-meter final in Tokyo. And then, of course, last year, 2023, he made the 100-meter and the 200-meter final. Specifically in the 100, he got that bronze medal. But he's had ups and downs, mixed results overall. Again, 2015, of course, he didn't get a medal in the 200 there. 2019, he got 6th place in the 100-meter dash. 2021 in Tokyo, famously, he false started. And he is known for false starts. It's really unfortunate, but he is known for having various different false starts. Again, last year, he really stepped things up and was able to get on the podium, kind of, dismissing, his previous false start woes. But hey, Zharnel Hughes, he trains with Oblique Seville down in Jamaica, which is really interesting under Glenn Mills. He's been, with Glenn Mills since, Usain Bolt was competing. So Zharnel Hughes, he has a lot going for him. He's a little bit older than some of the younger guys that I mentioned. I think he's about 28, 29 or so. But Hughes got on the podium last year, has a lot of potential. He has a lot of upside. I don't even think that 9.8 seconds is his ceiling in the 100. And again, he's made various different finals over the years. So I think he's going to be a very strong force to get onto the Olympic podium, bouncing off what he did in Budapest last year. Next, let's talk about Trayvon Bromell from the United States. Man, he has had an interesting career. 2015 bronze medalist in the 100-meter dash, coming straight out of Baylor in the NCAA. Then he just recently at 2022 in Eugene got the bronze medal again in the 100-meter dash. On top of that, he is the 60-meter dash world indoor champion from 2016 when the World Indoors was in Portland. So Trayvon Bromell has a lot of experience when it comes to winning medals on the global stage. On top of that, his personal best in the 100 is 9.76 seconds, which he ran back in 2021. One of the fastest times in history, of course, matches up with, Christian Coleman, Fred Curley, Ferdinand Omanyala actually ran 9.77 in the same race that Bromell ran his PB. So listen, Bromell is very much one of the top players. He has the experience and he's still relatively young, when you're talking about the grand scheme of things, but he has a ton of experience.
It's been 7 years since I've been on the podium, 6 years since I got my last medal. Everything that I've been through from injuries, I was out for 4 years. Man, to kind of go against all odds and dig down and find that championship mentality, say, it's okay that I'm in lane 8. It's, just to go out there and get a medal, man. It's a humbling experience.
But of course, like I noted, he's had some ups and downs in a very interesting career. Injuries has been, plaguing him all throughout his entire career. Since about 2016, he made the Olympic team in 2016, but then he got injured. If you remember at the 4x1, they unfortunately got DQ'd, but he fell to the track after that. Saw him getting taken out on a wheelchair. Then he missed a bunch of world championships in 2017, 2019. 2021, he did come back and had an amazing season, but also had some setbacks, didn't make it to the final at the Olympic Games. Came back for 2022, was good. 2023, he dealt with some injuries, wasn't able to make it into the World Championship. So again, this kind of just highlights his ups and downs season. So it's unfortunately a little unpredictable to say Trayvon is 100% going to make the USA team. He's 100% going to, get onto the podium.
It's 2016 all over again. I probably was going to say this on social media, but I'm probably going to go up under surgery again. After the day, I think I'm going to shut the rest of the season down and go up under surgery and hopefully get this thing underway so I can make the Olympic team next year. I really wanted to be on this team. Like I said, I only missed one team, and that was 2017, and now this is my second one. I made every team I went out for, so just injuries, man, they suck.
If he is healthy, if he is ready, Trayvon could arguably be not only world champion, but he has 9.6 potential, right? He very much has American record 9.6 potential. It's just those injury woes that have been setting him back.
I'm only 27, and I still got a lot that I want to achieve. I'm still happy with the season. I came with a 6:42 PB in indoors, and I'm happy about that, but I got a lot of goals for the 100, and I ain't willing to let something like this jeopardize my career, because if I would have got hurt out there, it probably would have been career threatening. As long as y'all know me running from college to now, I never back down. That's never been me. Injury or not, I'm a run. I love this. I've been running since I was 4 years old, competing since I was 6. I done gave my life to this.
But outside of the injuries, he is easily one of the most technically efficient sprinters when talking about the 100-meter dash. I'll always go back to it. 2015, Michael Johnson was breaking down Trayvon Bromell running out of lane 9 in the heats, and he was extremely efficient. You look at Trayvon Bromell as one of the models for sprinting, right? Everyone has different body types, everyone has different running styles, but Trayvon is one of those guys that is really, really efficient. He is super humble, he is super motivated, and he has a really, really strong head on his shoulders that, again, he could be running 9.6s, but that health is going to be the big factor that's kind of hanging over his head to really get things right. So we're going to see how Trayvon Bromell really delivers, when we get to, the outdoor season and when we get to USA Trials later on this summer. Now, bouncing off Trayvon Bromell, let's talk about Marvin Bracy-Williams, also from the United States. He is a very, very consistent performer as well. 2016, he made the Olympic team. I think that was his first, global championship team that he made. Didn't make it to the final at the Olympics in Rio, but he did make it to the 2022 World Championships, where he was able to win a silver medal actually just getting edged out by Fred Curley to get that silver medal there.
I ran 9.8 a couple times. I've now finally got a medal, so you know, what else can I do? You know, what more do they want? I'll continue to obviously build off this. You know, try to get more, try to run faster, and just be the best athlete that I can.
But that wasn't his first medal. He also won a silver medal at the World Indoor Championships in 2014, and then he followed that up in 2022 at the World Indoor Championships, winning a bronze medal in the 60-meter dash, just behind Marcell-Jacobs as well as Christian Coleman. So Marvin Bracy, just like Trayvon Bromell, he has displayed a lot of consistency throughout his career, despite, you know, having various different ups and downs. Personal best of 9.85 seconds, which again, on the surface maybe isn't as fast as some of the other guys, but he's been very consistent in that range. He's run a bunch of other 9.85s, some 9.86, so he has some consistency within that 9.8 range.
I mean, I don't know, man. I think I'm just I'm Mr. 985 or something, man. But you know, I mean, obviously it puts me top 15, 16 all time, man. So that's special in itself.
But just like Trayvon, maybe not as much, but he has dealt with some injuries and some ups and downs. He did switch to football a little bit, I think, after the 2016 Olympic Games, so he stepped away. He dealt with some injuries, I think, in 2021, so he wasn't able to make the Olympic team, you know, over to Tokyo. But he's been able to get back in the fold. He changed coaches. You know, he moved from Rainer Ryder last year and is now being coached by Dennis Mitchell. So I really think that Marvin Bracy-Williams shouldn't be forgotten about. Again, he's run 9.85 seconds, strong personal best overall. He does have potential to get into that 9.7 range. He's training with a new group. He's, you know, working with like Aaron Brown, Kenny Benerick, you know, a lot of those different guys under Dennis Mitchell. So I really like where Marvin Bracy-Williams might be able to go, but just want to see that consistency. If he gets on the team, he is a medal threat. It's just getting over that hump and getting onto the USA team. So we're going to see how Marvin Bracy-Williams is able to really progress as we look forward in the outdoor season.
I mean, you see what we're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? We just saw two guys in America go 9.8. You know, Trayvon will be back next year, you know, back healthy. I'm pretty sure Fred is coming back with a vengeance. And I don't plan on losing the race next year, so it's going to be very hard.
So those are just some of the guys who actually have already won medals at the global championships, whether it's world championships or Olympic games. But let's talk about some other guys who haven't actually gotten onto the podium, but are very much in the conversation when we look towards Paris this summer. All right, so let's talk about a few other guys who haven't actually won medals at the World Championships or Olympic Games yet, but are very much in the conversation to do so. First off, Hakim Sani Brown, representing Japan. What's crazy is he's kind of been under the radar, always on the cusp, but he actually has a ton of experience, a lot more than some of the other guys who I've already mentioned. Hakim Sani Brown made his first World Championship team all the way back in 2015 when he was 16 years old, still a youth, and he made the World Championships in the 200-meter dash. Additionally, he competed in the 200 at the 2017 World Championships, where he actually made the final there in London, and then he also made the final in 2022 and 2023 in the 100 meters specifically. In Eugene, he finished in 7th place, and then in Budapest last year, he finished in 6th place. So just speaking to the fact, 2015, 2017, 2022, 2023, he has more experience than a lot of guys who are vying for medals. Now, he has a personal best only of 9.97 seconds, so not nearly as fast, but going to the point that I spoke about with Andre de Grasse, who's run 9.89 and he's been, won multiple medals, Hakim Sani Brown has been able to make multiple finals only with a personal best of 9.97. So again, he has a lot of potential. I think he is very much overdue for an increase and a drop in his personal best. Should be in the range of like 9.89 or so. He's only 25 years old, might be turning 26 this year. So I really, really like his potential, and we're gonna see how he kind of, things play out in 2024 this year. Now, on top of that, I want to dive over to Terrance Jones. Competes for the Bahamas, is still in the NCAA, and he is a rising star, for Texas Tech right now. Personal best of 9.91 seconds. So again, not nearly as fast as some of the others, but he's a two-time NCAA indoor champion in the 60-meter dash. He finished in the top 3 in the 200 last year outdoors. So he is one who's very much on the rise. He's very, very humble, but he's very, very dangerous.
I think right now the sky's the limit. As long as I keep doing what I need to do in training, I keep trusting God, like I said, it's not my kind of dream.
He also has a little bit of experience when it comes to the World Championships. He competed in the 200 at the Doha World Championships back in 2019. He also competed in Budapest last year in the 100-meter dash. Didn't, progress through the rounds, only made it to the heats. But I think that Terrance Jones is very much on the rise. I think he's still learning, again, still in the NCAA this year. And he's going to be one of those dangerous athletes that's going to, quote-unquote, come out of nowhere and, might be able to surprise some things. Doesn't have to deal with USA trials, doesn't have to deal with all that. He competes for Bahamas, so he is going to be a very strong force. Now, quick side note, I completely forgot to mention Cravont Charleston from the United States. He was the USA champion last year. He made it to the World Championships in Budapest, personal best of 9.90 seconds, and he has a strong, relatively strong record against, some of the other top guys, where he's beaten Christian Coleman, he's beaten Noah Lyles, again, at USA Championships. He's been able to hold his own in the Diamond Leagues.
I mean, I hear big names all the time. I've been around Coleman, Noah Lyles. I mean, I raced Curly 3 times last year, and twice in the 100, and once in the 200. So I'm used to being around big names. And this time I said, okay, you had the experience, go out there and finally execute. It's just that. So.
Now, he did get injured, just after USA's last year, where he picked up an injury and then wasn't able to make it through the rounds, only competed in the heats in Budapest. But Charleston, again, had a huge rise in 2023 and is very much in the conversation if he's healthy. 9.90 for his personal best is nothing to snuff at, and he's been showing a lot of progress. He trains under Alan Johnson, at North Carolina A&T. So listen, Cravont Charleston is very much in the conversation. But let me jump back and finish things off. Now, moving over, let's talk about Reece Prescod from Great Britain, who, I don't know, back in 2017, 2018, he was kind of the breakout star. He was one of the rising talents, and people thought that he was going to be very competitive on the global stage. Personal best of 9.93 seconds, which he ran from, some years ago, but he has a ton of experience. Competed at the World Championships in 2017 in London, Tokyo Olympic Games in 2021, Worlds in 2022, and Worlds in 2023. Now, he's only made the final once, which was in 2017, where he finished in 7th place. So, I mean, that was his best finish, dating all the way back, 7 years at this point. If he's able to get a little bit more consistent, not only, when talking about the circuit, but then of course, hopefully making it to the finals, he could be a shocker and could surprise a lot of people. Reece Prescod from Great Britain, very much a threat. Also, moving over to Canada, we spoke about Andre de Grasse, but we can never forget about Aaron Brown. Aaron Brown has been a mainstay, and just like I noted with Andre de Grasse, just like I noted with Hakim Sani Brown, he has arguably some of the most experience out of anyone in the field. The 2012 Olympic Games was the first time that he made it to a global championships. He ran the 200 meter there, but we're talking about 14 years of global championships experience. That is unmatched, arguably unmatched next to anyone in the field, right? And he's run the 100 meters at almost every single championships, primarily the 200, but 2019 and 2022 were the only 2 times that he actually made the 100 meter final, and he finished 8th place in Doha as well as 8th place in Eugene. So definitely has, more chops in the 200, where he's finished a lot better when talking about global championship finals there, but he still does have some experience in the 100 meters that can definitely not be overlooked.
I feel good, man. It's a testament to my hard work, the resiliency, being able to bounce back. My team, they get me ready for each race. Doubling is hard, as you can see. Not many people are doing it these days. But to make 2 finals, I'm proud of myself, and job's not finished. I still got more work to do.
Personal best of 9.96 seconds. Again, not as fast as some of the others, might need to get down into those 9.8s, but again, that experience is unmatched. The ability to perform when it counts, Aaron Brown is very much always in that conversation. Now, finally, I do want to talk about Ronnie Baker from the United States. He's kind of had a very much up and down career, but we have to look back at 2021. He finished 5th place at the Olympic Games in Tokyo there. Personal best of 9.83 seconds, so right in line with some of the top guys that we know of. But injury woes have kind of gotten the best of him over the past couple years. Whether it's, dating back to his time coming out of TCU, or even more recently where he hasn't actually even been able to make any championship team. The only global championship team he's made was the Olympic Games in Tokyo 2021.
I feel good about it, coming back off injury. I did it from, 2019, I was injured. Came back in 2021, had the best season of my life. So I'm hopeful, man. I'm good. I'm moving in the right direction.
I don't know, Ronnie Baker is always on the cusp. He can always, throw something down very, very fast. He finished 3rd place in the 60 meters at USA's, just this past indoor season, just behind, of course, Noah Lyles and Christian Coleman. So I cannot forget about Ronnie Baker. He is always in that conversation. But with that, let's close things out. So these are just a few of the top guys in the 100-meter dash that we're of course looking forward to as we prepare for the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris, France. Now, let's be clear, this is not an exhaustive list. There's a plethora of guys who I definitely didn't mention, who are very much in the conversation, who are either kind of lurking, who have some experience, or some who are on the rise and are definitely going to surprise us all. We've seen a lot of athletes come from nowhere, whether it's Marcell-Jacobs, in Tokyo, whether it's Letsile Tobogo, who made some, consistent progress, or there's some guys who've been been super consistent, whether it's Christian Coleman, Fred Curley, Noah Lyles. All these guys across the spectrum are very much in the conversation and are very much going to be fighting for medals in Paris this summer. Now, as the outdoor season continues to progress, we're going to see all these guys put down markers that are going to give them a stronger case as to why they should be on the podium. But let me know what you think about the current landscape of the men's 100-meter dash in 2024. Who do you think is going to be able to get on the podium winning gold, silver, and bronze? Do you think there's going to be any surprises and shocks when we get to Paris later on this summer? And what do you think about the time? What's the winning time going to be? Are we going to see 9.7s, 9.6s, or is it going to be 9.8s like we saw at the last Olympic Games and the previous World Championships? Let me know what you think. As always, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Be back again next time. Thanks for watching, y'all.